Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Castle Goblin, and today we've got a special unboxing of the Alien RPG starter set from Free League Publishing. I do want to put a disclaimer out here that this was given to us by Free League Publishing many years ago. Thank you so much for that. This is not a sponsored promotion or anything like that. They were just nice enough to send this to the channel, and we've done shows on this product previously. Before we get into the unboxing, like, subscribe, all the bits and pieces. We're on our way to 1 million subscribers on YouTube. We're also a live Twitch TV channel doing live shows and actual plays, and you can follow us on social media on Twitter while it still exists with Goblin Cave TV. So let's get into it, shall we? Alien RPG is an amazing game. I got to do the sound from this game many years ago as we were doing beginner box series for actual plays, and I was really impressed. I just had a ball just playing with sound. So if you have Sirenscape, try to run this game with Sirenscape sound. They do amazing stuff. In the box we have 10 sets of dice plus 10 sets of dice. That's actually pretty impressive. So we get 10 sets of normal dice. They are marked, they're just d6s, but they have a special side to them when on the d6. You have your stress dice as well. The system has a case of if stressful situations happen, you are given stress dice. Stress dice act essentially as adrenaline, which are the only dice which have a fumble on them. So you have to roll the extra stress dice 2 rolls, which means you can get greater successes, greater chances of success, yes, but it also means they're the ones that can fumble. And I really, really like that version of the Year Zero rule set. Now we've got a bunch of cards. These are very high quality stock. These are one of the few ones you'll actually see me actually have opened. And there's a reason for that. I'll just go through them quickly now. We have our initiative cards of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're totally out of order, of course. We have our gear cards, great quality images. Oops, they're all upside down, of course. Well, some of them are. So beautiful imagery of the items and gear. And then you also have your NPC cards, which give a little bit of a bio on the back of each person. Now, the one I did miss here is the one you might be thinking, what is that one? Why did I miss it? I missed it for a reason, because this is the one I want to talk about the most. This card, or this series of cards, are the reason why I think this game is the best game in my collection, bar none. So the personal agenda cards turn this game from a more role-playing game into a cinematic show, which for us is amazing, because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to put on a show. In a role-playing game, your players are reacting to the environment around you, and from that, and each other, but not very much of each other. Usually everyone's on the same team. The personal agenda cards change that, and that makes that sci-fi horror just that little bit more tense. So what happens is at the start of each act, each player is given one of these personal agenda cards, and they have to follow that personal agenda. So they're role-playing the character, they're reacting to the outside stimulus of the world and trying to find where they are in the world and trying to get through the gauntlet of sci-fi horror while still acting out the card. In Act 2, they get a different card which replaces the first one. So you're no longer doing the first part, now you're doing this. Okay, sure, you keep on going. What you thought were your allies maybe in the first section might not be your allies now. People that you thought were backing you up non-stop in the first section might not do that now. Act 3, which is the final act, you may get asked to betray people. And that is your agenda. Your agenda is to betray. That is what you have to do. If you're asked to do it on the card, that's what you do. The game plays out very differently to most. Pretty much all games. Even the core rulebook, the big proper core rulebook, says that death is an escape. So this is a game where losing your character is part of the story. Losing your character is part of the overall story of the game itself, and part of the excitement of the game. Is not a detriment. And that's kind of a different way of playing. And it's all started with these cards, with these personal agenda cards. I'm not going to put spoilers in for them, but I really highly recommend no one knows about the cards until they play, as in what's underneath them, because it is amazing, absolutely amazing how those cards play out. Now that I've ranted a raven just on one thing, let's actually get to the books. That's the hard part of this review, is the cards. Anyway, let's get to the books. This is based off Mutant Year Zero, the high quality print material of the books, just like pretty much all the Free League Publishing books, and a nice thick binding. Beautiful artwork, beautiful layouts. The actual books themselves, the rules themselves, only about 10 pages or 5 pages, I think. I'll just have a quick check of this. Rolling dice, 32 to 38. So yeah, 6 pages of the core mechanics of this. Yet this is a 100+ page book of all the other bits and pieces. And as you can see, the layout is in a way which are not effectively putting all the material in. So if you didn't have this amazing layout, these eye-catching designs and full pages of even double spread artworks, you could probably fit that into probably half that size. But it is what it is, and it really just showcases how good a role-playing game can be in its layout, even a starter set like this. So the Mutant Year Zero book is pretty simple to, Mutant Year Zero rules, I should say, is a simple system to pick up. This is a variation on that. It adds the stress dice as an extra element of risk and reward, and I think it does it really well. And it does play into that stress and adrenaline of shock and horror, which is the alien space horror games. So nothing on the back, but there we go. Okay, and also the box is pretty thick, but it is one of those boxes which is full for the most part. So this is the map. This is humongous. Absolutely humongous map. This is double-sided. This is just the world. And I'll just show you a little bit of that, but I'm not going to show you it all because that's the map and spoilers. This is one of the games I won't give you spoilers for because this is a game of horror type situation. So we have the actual adventure itself. Also for the map, so before I get into the adventure itself, for the map, this is not a whiteboard marker map. This is one which you'll be using tokens on. You don't want to use whiteboard markers on this. It's a nice quality print. It's nice and thick. It's quite sturdy, but it's not going to be useful for whiteboard markers. Just wanted to point that out now. So, Chariot of the Gods is the scenario. You can buy this separately. You can buy this as a standalone product, but in this circumstance, I would recommend it buying as a lot group with the box set because you get everything you need and everything you want. So, Chariot of the Gods is a nice scenario. It plays out in about, we did it in 5 hours. I would say it's a 12-hour, like 3-session game. You would probably want to do Act 1 in one session, Act 2 in one session, and Act 3 in one session. So each session being 3 to 4 hours, maybe even 5 hours, depending on how much you get into the role playing. And again, if you're using some stuff like Silencecape to add to the mood, you can really get into that role playing and that terror, that fear. Because once you start playing with the minds of people, they're very hesitant to move forward because they're so nervous. And that's the most fun. So, Chariot of the Gods, as I mentioned, again, high quality print. This one's got a staple binding. I won't go into the maps. Whoops, that was an accidental. Same layouts as the first book, same high quality print, same high quality images. I don't want to show you the maps because spoilers. Now, we have our crew, our pre-generated characters, our pre-mades. I believe there's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm correct. Yay! So 5 characters. They are all quite diverse. They all have their different motivations. Also have their own personal agenda cards. So they're all going to be different. They'll play out differently. That's important. So you don't really have a play this if you want to play a certain character, but they've got a very, very short bio. And you can even have a look at the talent as another indication of who they are. So the little short bio and reckless talent. little short bio, and pull rank talent. So they've also got redneck, officer, pilot, etc. for their bits and pieces. If someone really, really likes and knows their Alien universe, I would suggest assigning them the company agent one, because people that really know the Alien universe and know the IP do the best with the company agent. Also, if you've played this before, or if you have someone that has played this before, have them play the company agent, because the company agent has that little bit more information, which is a nice little thing for them to have, because they're the company agent. Of course they do. Now, you have tokens. I'm not going to pull out these tokens. They're on high quality card stock. I'm not going to pull them out because every time I do, I lose them, and then it takes ages to fit them all back in perfectly. There's a lot of tokens here, and they work really well for the card stock. Again, I'm just not going to pull them out. There's nothing underneath that. It's just there's so many, and every time I do it, they come out, they pop out so easily. I was like, no. But my thoughts on the product. I'm sorry that the camera doesn't pick up on how high quality the product is because of the reflection and the shine. But my thoughts on the Alien RPG, quite high. I mean, I'm a little bit annoyed that the box is thick. This could have had a thinner box. There's other products with a thinner box than this one. There's actually 3 in this series. There's 3 adventures in this series. This one plays out like Alien 1, like the first movie. The second box plays out like Aliens, the second movie. And the third one, I would believe, I don't have it yet, would play out like the third movie, because that's kind of what they've led up to. I think this is the highest quality game that I've had for a long time, or at least the most fun game I've had in a long time. It does play like a movie, which is quite impressive to actually be able to get a role-playing game playing like a movie, because you don't know what people's reaction is going to be. You don't know what people's script is. And they do actually kind of have a script when you have those personal agenda cards. And that can make things really, really interesting, because as you're exploring, you're uncovering other dangers, but you're also having to figure out what everyone's motivations are around them. And those motivations do change, which is really cool. You have a 3-part character arc in such a small game, which is so rare to have. And I think these are done super well. They have a style called cinematic play, which is that's what this is, a cinematic play in their rules. They've also got campaign play, which is a lot more longer arc. But the cinematic play is spectacular and great fun. So that's my thought on this one. It is longer than the usual ones for these beginner boxes. But again, I've got some experience with this one, some personal experience, and I'm incredibly, incredibly impressed with this. If you want something to have a lot of fun with, this is not a long running campaign, but it's a lot of fun. This is absolutely worth it. But that's it for me for now. Remember, in space, nobody can hear you scream. Bye.